Well, hello, and welcome to Opal City Confidential, a Starman podcast, episode 61. It is Tuesday, July 10th. I am recording. I'm off today because my work schedule sucks. Lot going on, and as you all have probably heard, I've talked about it. I've been in an interim position at work, and now the application and interview process is starting. So I am wigging. So I thought I'd record this episode in the middle of my off day. I'm about to watch some Fifth Doctor Glory on a Blu-ray set that I have yet to get through, and I've got another Doctor Blu-ray set arriving today with some other goodies, which we'll talk about at the end of the episode. But today of all days, I am going to be talking about Starman Volume 2, Issue 31, Infernal Devices Part 2, and the Black Pirate story from Sensation Comics number 1. Oh my God, do I have feels about the Black Pirate. I may have a new character I'm in love with. And a comic strip that I want to find a way to read them. To be honest, we'll talk about it when we get to it. But let's start with Starman Volume 2, Infernal Devices, Part 2. Let me pull up Mike's Amazing World for some data. This comic was published on April 9th, 1997. It's cover dated June 1997. It was a $2.25 comic. They're creeping up, folks. It's getting more and more expensive. The editor is the amazing, absolutely GOAT, Archie Goodwin. One of the greatest editors in the history of comics, I think. And a big reason of that is his championship of this series. He was a huge supporter of this team. And let's talk about this team. This is... the story in this issue is called Infernal Devices Part 2. It is a 22-pager. It stars Jack Knight. It is written by the amazing James Robinson, the absolutely amazing Tony Harris, inker extraordinaire Wayne P. Von Grawbadger, inker Ray Schneider did some inking in this. Yes, I forgot about that. Letterer Bill Oakley, colorist Gregory Wright. This comic has been reprinted 3 times. Yep, all 3 of them are in here. Starman Infernal Devices Trade Back 2000. Starman Omnibus Volume 3 hardcover. There were no soft covers of that one. 2009. Starman Compendium Volume 1 2021, which is how I'm reading it, that and on the app. Let's get some other... It's got an amazing Tony Harris cover, as always, and it's very piratey. It's raw, it's piratey. It's great. These covers for these 3 issues are amazing. Let's do the synopsis real quick. A mad bomber, the infernal Dr. Pip, is planting his wares over Opal City. Jack tracks the criminal down, but he almost gets himself killed. The heroic ghost of the Black Pirate saves him and later tells Jack his woeful tale of how his spirit became doomed to wander the city. Meanwhile, Pip, learning from his near defeat at the hands of Jack, recruits the Senator Copperhead to put the bite on Starman. That is the fandom wiki synopsis, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So some of the characters, Black Pirate, in flashback, the ghost, and a wonderful flashback. Great history, makes me want to read more Black Pirate. The Infernal Mr. Pip, Dr. Pip, who I love, and Copperhead. I love Copperhead. We're going to talk about why I love Copperhead even more because of this story. We also get to see Jon Valor, his friend, and Cobb Denning, who is in the flashback, and Dudley Donovan, who is an informant and a descendant of somebody who worked with Ted. Here's some trivia that is on the fandom site. The cover states, after Howard Pyle was an American artist best known for his illustration of Pirates and Buccaneers. His book of pirates was originally published in 1921. Oh, that's very cool. That is very cool. I'll have to Google that later. And again, it's a great one. So let me kind of go through this comic a little bit page by page and give you my thoughts on it, and let me sing its praises because this is another great one. Okay, so I love the splash page on this, and I posted it earlier today on Twitter and all the other social media sites, and we see the we're back in corporal form, Black Pirate, Jon Valor, and Jack standing on a rooftop And Tony Harris, yeah, you were built to draw pirates. It's awesome, and Jack looks great. It's just a great visual. And they have this conversation about he's been following him. You know that Jack and him are having this conversation. He's telling the Black Pirate's telling Jack a little bit more about himself and his history, or his history with Jack. Telling him all that, and it's like tells him to call him John. And Jack has this great thought. It's in a caption box. I'm on first name terms with a ghost, a nautical ghost. Oh my God, I'm Mrs. Muir. All I need is Charles Nelson Riley, and I'm all set. I love that because I used to watch The Ghost of Mr. Muir, and I love Charles Nelson Riley. So it was great. But we get to see it, and he talks about Jack talks about a smell, which I like. Is that on this page? I'm sorry, folks. I'm kind of going through it. I read it again today. It's great. But the Black Pirate starts telling his story, and you get a couple of these 2 pages. And the first 2-pager is it's a beautiful single panel on the pirate ship, and it starts simply with John saying, "Let me tell you my tale, young Jack. Let me tell you how one such as I became the wretched thing you see this day. The beginning of the yarn is easy to relate, and no great surprise for you. That once long ago I sailed the seas, and nary was there a Spaniard that didn't fear my flag. I was a nobleman, Jon Valor. England was my home then, and Bess my queen. I went to sea with my letter of marque and reprisal signed by her own dear hand. Though history called me the Black Pirate, in truth I was closer to being the Black Privateer, for I sailed with approval of crown and country. The Spanish had wealth, you see, and England would take her share of it. I loved my land, and I sought to bring her bounty. I was no glory dog like Drake. He sailed always with the Queen's favor in mind. He sought her grace. I did not even care to show my face to tell my name. I fought mast, and so the name Black Pirate came to be. Drake, Hawkins, Cavendish, they were the 3, my rivals. Though I fought at their side at the Battle of San Juan de Ula, but even then they sailed away back to England shores, where I turned my ship to St. Kitts and fought the rogue Red Daniels amidst the tobacco fields. I sailed back to England later, loaded down with ducats and fine silver, though extra travels meant Drake took the cheers with his earlier return. Never that it mattered, not once, for cool of sea and the heat of battle were around me always, and there indeed was my boon. So it's amazing writing. I love Robinson. I love this. Then we cut to a shop, and this scarf man with sunglasses and a weird nose is looking for collectible transistor radios. And it's all a conversation about them negotiating. It's about the different types of radio he's looking for, and they do a little bartering. It's kind of like another shop. This guy wears a bowler hat. He looks like Dobie Dickles a little bit, but it's another like kit shop, like Jack's, a curio shop or collector's shop. And it's just 2 pages of that. And it's great because we're going to move through. We're going to jump between Jack and John's past, and this mysterious stranger. So we get to the next 2-page spread, and it's the history of his son, Justin. How he married the King of Spain's ward, Donna Bonita. They had a son, Justin. Justin dies, which pushes the Black Pirate back out to sea, and then years later he's fighting someone, and that person ends up being Justin. And I'm gonna read you some of that because I just think it's so amazing. But then the war ended. Spain was no longer the Queen's enemy, and so no longer mine. I took a wife, the King of Spain's own ward, Donna Benita, my beauty, my love. And came the time we had a son. He too was beautiful, my light, Justin. It was Justin's death years later that had me cast aside the Black Pirate. I showed my face to King Charlie and said farewell to my old life, forever. Though forever was not to be. The king called me back to service. Brigands were raiding English ships in the New World, and he would have me drag them back in chains. I met the pirate chief and fought him sound, only to find he was my own sweet Justin alive. Justin was a Puritan, taking booty to fund more of his faith coming to America. A tense time facing your own, son as foe, but we parted as friend. He went back to his newly austere life, and I returned to my more gilded later years. Then we cut to Dr. Pip talking to the mysterious Scarf Man. And the Scarf Man has a lisp. He's very serpenty, because you'll find out why. But he's hired by Pip because Dr. Pip is concerned about Starman and didn't take him too seriously at first, but now he needs help, so he's hired the mysterious stranger to kill him. And we know this mysterious stranger has fought Wonder Woman, Superman, and more recently Superboy in Hawaii. When Superboy was in Hawaii. If you have never read that Superboy, the Superboy of the 90s with Grummet art, and I forget who the writer was, but it's when it comes out, they better put it out in one of the compendiums like they're doing Robin and Nightwing. They must do it. It's a great series. And then we cut back to the later years of the Black Pirate. And it's just he's gone to this new settlement, this Puritan settlement, and it's 2 pages, 4 panels, beautiful, beautiful art. Then a year or so later, a letter arrived. Justin was in trouble, in danger. He needed me. I gathered a crew and set off that very day. My wife ailed from an overly cold England winter, but bade me go nevertheless. I sailed away, promising her I'd see her before spring's blossoms. All had fallen. The going was treacherous, storms. Perhaps I was old. Perhaps the youth who flew the pirate flag would have thought nothing of them, called these breezes and spat in their face. But I was no youth, not then, and the going was treacherous. I arrived at a small settlement at a mighty river. It was a port. Its port was already a thriving place of commerce and trade, and the name of the place was Port aux Souls. This was long before the Turk was hung, long before any of the naming, long before the Gems Man's coming and the name that would last. I arrived there and was met by a gentleman, Cobb Dunning. His name was all powdered and primmed, and unlike the farmers and pilgrims who labored and plied around him, he told me he was my son's friend, and Justin had business keeping him from our meeting. Instead, we were to convene that evening. Dunning gave me a tavern name and directions to it. Was I naive to trusting? Perhaps not. Thinking straight to be sure. Then we cut back to our Scarf Man. He's at another curio shop. He's found the Koyo transistor radio, but his scarf comes off. His face terrifies the man, and the mysterious stranger goes, oh dear, you've seen my face, and I can't afford people knowing I'm here in town. I can't afford Starman knowing. Jack Knight. I hate Jack Knight. He's my competition. I won't say you want to fight him. Go right ahead. I can't take that chance. Isn't that that's my Ice Warrior voice from Doctor Who. You're the only one who can make a killing. And then we cut to more Black Pirate, and he goes to the tavern. It's a great 2-panel page. His son's got a dagger in his knife. His dagger. He didn't kill him, but Cobb has set him up, and he's going to be hung because someone had snuck on the boat and stole his proof of who he really was, so they don't believe him, and so they hang him. And he had said earlier in the comic that he didn't die well. He bribed his hangman to tie the knot tight enough to snap his neck. The hangman took the money and gave him a loose noose, and he choked to death dancing around. But we have more, and I'm going to give you this narration and a little bit of John's dialogue. I know I'm doing too much of this, but I got to do it. I arrived at the tavern later as arranged. The landlord bade me to a private room, and there I saw my son, For the last time, he was already dead, stabbed. As I fell to my knees beside him, so the town guards entered. It all seemed so rehearsed. They awaited my entrance and then acted upon it. It all seemed so timed, but in my grief I saw none of this. The trial was swift. I was a stranger. Someone crept onto my boat and stole away my documentation. I had no proof of my own identity. My crew sailed away on the night of my arrest, no doubt fearful of the crimes in their own past might come to light. So I was alone. Added to this was the fact that the dagger in my son was mine own, and from it a hilt I kept hidden in the back of my tunic. I had not noticed its absence, and there was only one man who could have got that close enough to have taken it. That began to have begun the savage pantomime that ended at with a gallows built. Cobb Denning, but he was nowhere to be found, nor any recalled him seen. And then we see the priest asking Jon, do you have anything to say? Any last words, Jon Valor? And Jon gives this incredible monologue over 9 panels as he's about to hang. And he talks about that he's a pirate. And pirates hate, and how pious these people are and how they hate him. How he has done nothing. You've not checked on my ears. You've taken no time. And then he puts a curse on them. I learned of curses 20 years ago. I encountered witches in Madagascar and fierce Moors on the quays of northern Africa. Both knew their hexes, both knew the dire art. And so I know the means to curse you now, all of you to torment. I shall walk this burg until the truth and my innocence are both to light. You shall see me in the flicker of candlelight. You shall hear my boots and the creak of their footfall. And as you die, so you all will walk with me through the streets and dales of this land around, none to know peace until I share it with you. Nor my bastard crew shall sail as laughing fools this day. They will not laugh the merry hog when death and no hereafter is there tomorrow. That is my curse. Pray to God, drop to your knees, and pray to my words are merely and nothing more. Pray I shall see you again some sooner than you'd like. And then there was a drop. There was the sound of crowd. Some cheered, some gasped, some were silent. There was everything I told you before. The choking pain on my lungs, the fire, air departed, and as my life went with it. That was the end of me. And then we get back to him and Jack, and he says, he goes, I'm sorry, that's a terrible tale. A sad, terrible tale. But where do I come in? Is it not simple? So very simple? For the tale is not over. I need your help to clear my name. Whoa, Errol Flynn, since when did I start looking like a ghost helper? No way. Hang on. I'm not done with you, because his phone's ringing, and it's Dudley Donovan. He's giving him some news. Then we cut to Fair Willow Halls, where Dr. Pip is there. Jack can see that Pip, the bomb maker, is working. He uses nifty glass cutter, cuts a glass from the ceiling, lands, and then he screams, Copperhead, hello, Starman. Hello, and goodbye. And that is the end of this issue. Man, this book is rocking and rolling. It's getting better and better every issue. This is an arc I remembered, but you remembered and forgot in a way. I know I've said that a lot with this. It's absolutely stunning. It is a great comic. If you haven't read it, please, if you're on the app, read Starman. If you order the compendiums, order these compendiums, folks. The more you buy these things, DC will do more. They haven't even announced the second Sandman Mysteries Theater, so please. But they've got other ones. They got a great Nightwing, Chuck Dixon, Scott McDaniel era. Then we got the Robin coming out. We got the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern. Not to forget that they did Tom Strong Top 10 and some other stuff. Please put more of these collections out, DC. Please, I know you're not listening. And if you start putting them out, why don't you give me review copies and I'll do reviews. Pretty please. All right. Well, hey, that's that for the Starman. But well, not that. I think the art's getting better. The storytelling is moving along. Yes, James is wordy, but I don't care. This is his masterpiece. there are rumors going around that they're getting back together, the big three, let's say, call them that, Robinson, Van Grawbadger, and the amazing Tony Harris. There's something coming down the pipe. There are little hints, and we don't know what it is. People are guessing on the internet. I just want them to do something together. I don't care if they do Charlie Brown Deathmatch. But please do more Jack. It's 30 years, folks. It's the 30th anniversary of Zero Hour. We had a 30th anniversary omnibus. Why wasn't there a 30th anniversary omnibus, like a real omnibus of Starman, other than the compendiums? I like my compendiums, but I would definitely move up to omnibuses of it. But man, Jack is important. Jack Knight is an important comic book character, and these issues tell you why. If you have not read it, read it. If you're just listening to me because you're like my other stuff, the My Legion Adventure, which there will be one this week. I skipped an issue. We're going to be doing 199, or I will be record it probably today, put it up on Thursday. But the comic is so good, and he's bringing in all these other characters, and he's going to bring more in. The Black Pirate, this is so good. It got me to read. I've now read 2 Black Pirate comics because I read his first appearance last week, 2 weeks ago, and now I've read his first appearance in Sensation Comics #1, and it's even better, and it really ties to this one. It really ties to this one because it's about his love and his marriage to Donna Benita. It's great. So let me talk about that. So let's get to the Mike's Amazing World about it, which is... This comic was published November 7th, 1941. It's Sensation Comics #1. It's cover dated January 1942. It's a 10-center. It's a 64-page comic. This story was titled The Marriage of Jon Valor. It's an 8-pager. It features the Black Pirate. It has been reprinted. Ooh, it's actually been reprinted. See, I knew it was in the middle. Okay. Fameless First Editions, 1974. Fameless First Editions, Lyle Stewart exclusive, 1974. So I guess that's a British comic. And the Millennium Edition Sensation Comics Volume #1, which I was hoping was on, the first edition, the big treasury. Duh. Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. But I could not find it. I had to find a different way to read this. And it was like the Black Pirate had last appeared in 1942. Action Comics #42. Next appears Donna Benita first appeared in Action Comics 42, because this is a continuation of that story. Which I will talk about before I get into the synopsis. It features Black Pirate, Donna Benita, Don Carlos. His next appearance, this is his next appearance, various Stanislaus, King Philip of Spain. He will next appear next issue. Members of the Black Pirate's crew. Father Fernando, a priest, no further appearance. And here is the synopsis. Let's go back to the synopsis of the previous one, the last Action Comic appearance. I didn't go back. There we go. Hold on, folks. I'm jumping from screens. The synopsis of the previous adventure was previously on the Black Pirate. Seeking to take revenge upon the Black Pirate, a band of cutthroats plan a spy aboard Jon Valor's ship. The spy locks Valor in his cabin, signals his compatriots. The Black Pirate escapes his room through a window and rallies his men to defeat the attacking ship and the spy. And then in Sensation Comics, #1, the synopsis is this. Or here's some comments. First, Jon Valor marries Donna Benita in the story. The story was not originally titled. Having lost his love, Donna Benita, to the Spaniard Don Carlos, the Jon Valor hastily attacks Spanish warships and is captured. The Spanish don't realize that Valor is secretly the Black Pirate, but they plan to execute him as an example. Donna rescues him by marrying the pirate just before the execution. The king vows to spare Valor, provided he remains peaceful and serves Spain. Valor agrees with only himself and Donna knowing he will continue his activities as the Black Pirate. So this comic is freaking gorgeous. Let's talk about the creator. It is all Sheldon Moldoff. It is absolutely stunning. It is very 1940s newspaper strip. It is very Alex Raymond. It is just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. It's some of the best art I've ever seen in a 40s comic, and I can't love it anymore. It's all done in, it's a very, I don't know how to describe the page layout. Very simple, 6-panel. It's very old school. And I've said this again and again, that some Golden Age comic book art is rough for me as a modern reader. And somebody started reading in the 70s, and even compared, you said compared 70s to now, it's night and day. Artists have changed, technology's changed, blah blah blah. They take more time, but Sheldon Moldoff is a genius. His art on the original Hawkman stuff is amazing, and this is just absolutely beautiful. I would put it in the equation of Alex Raymond, Hal Foster. It's that beautiful. It's a great story, man, and it's dense. You have him. It's very much like an Errol Flynn movie, The Count of Monte Cristo. The whole plot where he is captured. He's been depressed because she's been kidnapped. He sees the ship. He thinks it looks like the one that kidnapped her. He gets captured. He goes. I just kept thinking of him in the cart being taken to prison, and her seeing him reminded me very much of the scene in The Reign of Terror with Susan and Barbara. If you've not watched it, check it out. It's a lot of fun. I like a good historical Doctor Who. But it was very great. It reminds me of the old pirate movies my brother made me watch. It's absolutely beautiful. I hope and pray that at some point they do a collection of some of these Golden Age comics in their entirety. Like do a Sensation comic volume. Very much like the All-Star comic volumes. Because like in the All-Star comic archives is, since the entire comic is pretty much Justice Society, they reprint everything. It's wonderful. Do this. I know there's scans of these comics because you can find them online. I know Warner Brothers and all of media companies are going through these weird changes because they're trying to maximize and squeeze profits out of stuff that just, I don't think they understand how to do it yet. I don't think they know how we're going to consume it anymore. I don't think we've transitioned from Netflix changing the model to real streaming changing the model to this shrinking of companies in late stage capitalism. They're pushing to make more and more profits, but they're they don't know what they're doing. And you've got people in charge who don't know what they're fucking doing. These are older businessmen who are hedge fund guys. Not one of them's an artist. Not one of them is doing it for the sake of art. You can have art and profit and business, but it doesn't need to be this wringing blood from a stone kind of crap that they try to do, where you want to give your dividends checks and your investors all this extra money instead of building new customers. And worrying about what you put out. I'm not a big fan of the gentleman who bought Warner Brothers. I think he doesn't know. I don't think he's qualified to run stuff, and I think it shows. I think give him some credit. I think they've stabilized stuff, Warner Brothers, and I think they'll round the corner. But I think they're going to give us less of their stuff. They are really going to hold stuff back again like they used to do in the days of Suncoast video stores and stuff like that. They're going to start withholding, instead of having everything available, start withholding stuff. Hence, I still buy physical media. Why I would love to have these comics out. There is a market to some of us older fans for some of this older stuff. And I think that's cool. I don't think we should be driving the market. I'm 60 years old. My taste should not be driving the market. You should be trying to build new audience, which means to do new characters or new interpretations of old characters that speak to a younger generation. I will never say, please make it like when I was a kid, because that's stupid. I was a kid 40, 50 years ago. It's asinine. But I'm still buying your stuff, so kind of make some of the old stuff available in these nice big hardbacks, and I'll keep buying them. I'll be doing a mail call post because I've got two things coming in today that I'm very excited about. A very beat-up copy of Avengers Epic Under Siege. I paid, it's not a great copy, but it's impossible to find, and when it gets reprinted, I'll get a better copy. But I wanted to have it because I'm trying to get my Avengers reading kind of locked down. And that will be, I'll have all the epics I need that come after all of my omnibuses, which is cool. I'm excited. And I'm getting Uncanny X-Men Volume 3 today, which I'm very excited about because I'm going to start buying the X-Men omnibuses. 2's being reissued. I'm excited. And I want to get the rest, so I'm kind of plotting my purchases. And there's a lot of great stuff coming up. A lot of great stuff. And I have some overtime, so I'm going to pre-order something. I'm going to check out Hitman and some other stuff. There's been a lot of great stuff coming out, and I'd like to share it with you. I just have not had time to do a regular Stop Let's Team Up episode. I've got a lot going on. I've applied for my new job, all this stuff. Life is hard sometimes. It's hotter than shit outside here in Richmond. So I just haven't gotten to it. I was lucky to get some stuff recorded with Kirby. I want to reach out to him. Kirby, if you're listening, I need to talk to you about some stuff. I'd also like to get Jimbo on for an issue. So Jimbo, if you're listening, I need to talk to you. But I'll shoot out something to these guys because I got some stuff I'd like to talk to them about. And I've recorded a couple episodes for Fantastic Comic Fan. Ron's back and working hard. And I recorded a couple more episodes, and he's helping me with the new logo. He's a great guy. It was fun to talk to him. I have not had him record something with me yet because I just haven't thought of the right thing. And I've not put a lot of thought into what I want to cover. So suggestions, throw them out to me. I know I'll be talking about Gang War at some point now that I finish it. I'm now starting the road to absolute power on the app, and I'll be reading all that, and I might do issues about it. I have not done a JSA one because they've been coming out so sporadically, so I may do a little catch-up episode, but I'm not sure. But I got other stuff going on, and me and Dave still got to record The Shade, so there's a lot going on. So enough of me rambling. Both of these issues, great fun. If you can find a way to read a Black Pirate comic, do it. And please read Starman. And thank you for following my show. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the nice things I hear from people. And I really appreciate it. This is my make me feel better thing, and it's helped today. I'm under a lot of nerves about this new position. I am having to interview with people, and I'm terrified. So this was very helpful. All right, that's it, folks. I'll stop rambling. Hey, be smart, be safe, be kind to one another. Christ on a crutch, be kind to another one. Hey, and read some comics.